Alrighty, so for those of you keeping score today, I know I am. We have 6 winners so far from Colombia, the same as last year. We have more New England schools than usual, with 2 from Harvard for the first time and 1 each from Yale, Brown, and Tufts. We also have winners from London, Berkeley, and several points in between, including North Carolina and, of course, Mizzou. We're almost halfway done. And on a personal note, for those of us who are a little dyslexic, I'm also very proud of myself for doing such a good job for reading out loud from the printed text. It's always a challenge, isn't it? So for our 10th award this afternoon, the S&P Global Award for Economic and Business Reporting, Sarah Champagne, which is a lovely name. Again, on a personal note, Sarah Champagne, worth saying over and over again. Sarah Champagne from North Carolina won for writing about how indigenous women in Guatemala were raped after they protested mining operations. She is fluent in French, English, Spanish, and Italian. Presenting is David Guarano, Chief Communications Officer at S&P Global.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, yes, I'm Sarah Champagne. My last name is really Champagne. And I'm from Montreal. I was thinking I should make a joke about being Canadian, but I think we're 3 or 4 of us, so I will not. But if I'm unpleasant today, please, it's just because I'm trying to break stereotypes of being too nice. I was a reporter based in Montreal for 7 years, reporting mainly in print journalism for Le Devoir, which is a newspaper. Also working for CBC, working online, in radio, freelancing. I traveled a lot. I was in Nicaragua last year when the protests started. I was in Turkey to report about informal flows of money to Syria from migrants, from refugees. I walked my way to the epicenter of the 2015 earthquake in Nepal to report. And yes, I had to walk up to 5,000 kilometers high. So we all take risks. It's a business where you take small risks and bigger risks. But the one thing is, when you don't know you're actually taking a risk, I was in that situation reporting on migrant farm workers. It was about 2 hours away from Montreal. A Guatemalan man called me, and I had been reporting on farm working for a while. So I drive there. It's a November, foggy, cold night, as the night can be cold in November in Canada. And to pick the worker up and just to have an interview, probably in a Tim Hortons. And in this little isolated dirt road, a truck begins following me really closely with his headlights on. And the worker is freaking out. And so I knew I had a story. This is how I get in Guatemala and begin working about Canadian mining companies. I've been following the lawsuit in Canada, in Toronto, and in Guatemala. So that was what my essay was about. And I think we all talk about ourselves with Matrix. So I've worked in 13 countries. I speak 4 languages. But the most important, and what I want to say today, is that I'm driven by ideas, I'm driven by stories, by people, and somehow I've always managed to report on what I think is important, and this scholarship is going to allow me to do so this summer. So thank you very much.